Hey guys, so today I have the Eevee blender to review for you today. I think I had mentioned that I was possibly going to review it in my Sponge video, but when I was looking at the site they were on pre-order, but the other day I looked on the site and they were still on pre-order, but they were going to be shipped like in 2 days from that, so I ordered one and here it is. This was $25 and I believe I had to pay shipping. And just to be honest, I totally have not heard great reviews for this. And I really didn't like the Sponge, so I don't know if I'm going to love this, but we're gonna give it a try anyway. So if you're unfamiliar with this, this is basically a silicone sponge and it is shaped like a beauty blender, but made out of silicone, kind of like the Sponge. So I think that if you were to like marry these two together, this is what you would get. Except this one also has a little dip for your finger, which I can't use because of my nails. So pretty much the claims on this, and I'm reading right from their Instagram, is it blends like a sponge, lasts 4 times as long, and won't absorb any product. I am going to be using one of my favorite foundations that I know works for me, and this is the Maybelline Fit Me foundation in Dewy. I normally use actually quite a bit of this, so I'm just going to use a very little bit and put this on my face. Really quick though, I wanted to show you guys the videos that Eevee Blender has on their Instagram of how they're using the product, and the ones that I've watched, so we can make sure we're using it correctly. So they have this one here. This one where this girl's kind of like rubbing it and then just dabbing it, kind of like a normal beauty blender. And then, as well as the little paper that they send out, says, you know, apply your product, swipe to apply your makeup to any areas you'd like to cover, and then bounce it. And I have already washed this. It does come pretty sticky, and it still feels pretty sticky to me, to be honest. Like you can kind of, it sticks to itself with that little indent there. But I have washed it twice just to make sure I have any stickiness gone. So I'm just gonna leave it at this point. So I am just going to start out with this much, and I usually would use about 3 times this much. So, and just being honest, like this already has a little bit of hair on it just from sitting at my vanity, and I keep my vanity very clean, but I do have 3 dogs and a furry chair that I sit on. So I don't know about you guys, but for a long time I did my makeup sitting on the floor looking in a mirror, and if that is you, carpet or animals or aren't super clean, things are gonna get stuck to this. So we're gonna start with swiping. Swipe this over any areas you'd like to cover and then bounce it to blend in. So right off the bat, it feels pretty smooth, but I feel like it sheared out my foundation almost a little bit. My Fit Me, I would say, has normally about medium coverage, and this is giving me like pretty light coverage. As well as, I feel like another thing with this is it doesn't make any of your foundation stick anywhere. Like, because you can just pull it anywhere on your face, it doesn't really adhere very well. So now I'm gonna bounce. So I'm bouncing it just slightly, and I feel like I'm doing this pretty lightly, but this thing is really hard. I can hear this. So I think the thing with this is nowhere near the coverage or anything like that I want, but I feel like if I had used more, it wouldn't work. I think with this product, you need to use very little, and then you would need to build it up. It's definitely sticking better on my face than the Sponge did. And I know also they were like doing this a little bit with that one video. For me, I could not go over my eyes with this, which normally I would. I don't know if you guys can see, my freckles are still showing. It still hasn't covered all of here. My eyelids with that amount that I use, and that would be about 1/3 that I've used. So I would say I would need at least another layer, which I will put on. I'm going to put on another layer because this isn't at the coverage I want. And so I put a little bit more, and I'm going to not redo, but I guess I'm gonna put my second layer on now, and again just smear the product, and then I will blend out afterwards. I feel like with this product, it's kind of like, what is your time worth? Because I feel like it takes a lot more time than a beauty blender would. You know, spending an extra 6 to 7 minutes every single day on your foundation worth saving, you know, a fourth amount of product. So next I'm going to just kind of do this way again, because if I do dab it, it is hard. Because it is textured, it does capture a small amount of your product still. And I had actually watched Nikki Tutorial's review of this, and she had mentioned that she felt like it made her foundation matte, and I agree. This foundation makes me incredibly dewy, like more than I think any other foundation I have, and this one is really looking pretty matte on me right now. I'm like really trying to not be as critical of this as I was about the Silly Sponge. However, each layer now has taken me about 6 minutes to do, and I still think it needs more work, and I'm not super happy with the finished product. I would go so far to say that this is making my skin look dry, and like I said, this foundation usually makes my skin so dewy that the fact that it's making my skin look dry right now, crazy. Hey guys, so really quick, I just wanted to show you guys what I would normally look like with this foundation with a beauty blender, the normal amount I would put on in the normal dewiness I'm doing an Instagram video and using the same foundation. This is what the foundation looks like with a beauty blender. Obviously incredibly dewy with some better coverage, able to cover my entire face and my neck and everything like that, and it looks so good, and that's why I love this foundation, because it just makes you glow. So yeah, I just wanted to pop this in really quick and show you that. Bye. And you cannot use this over your eyes. You can't. It's just, don't do it. It literally hurts. And then also for me, and I know for some of you, I wouldn't really like using this around my piercings, because with my sponge I can just like, you know, smush it on in there. With this, you can't. It's really too hard for that. I know that's not a problem that everyone has, but that's definitely a problem that I have. So I think I'm going to be done with this. To get the coverage and evenness I want, I would think I would need to do literally a third layer, which at that point I don't even know if I'm saving any foundation. I would say pros for this, I mean, it definitely does work. I would also say if you're someone that likes really matte foundation, then this would probably work well for you as well. If you have oily skin, I think it would mattify your foundation and just make it really, kind of almost take like the moisture part out of it. I can't really describe, but this is like, it's definitely on my skin. It doesn't feel slidey like it did with the Silly Sponge. This definitely feels like it's on my skin. However, it doesn't feel like it normally does when I use it with a beauty blender or a brush. And I guess maybe if you're not me, you don't need to use quite as much, but I don't really like that being a big like selling point. And I'm gonna try to stop being nice and just kind of give my just real honest opinion on this. I don't think it's worth, what, $25? That's more than a beauty blender. If you take care of your beauty blenders, they shouldn't fall apart, so I don't really think they'll last 4 times as long. You know, how often do you have to replace a beauty blender? Once 6 months to a year? I feel like everyone always runs to like a new product like, oh my god, that's so cool, but I kind of feel like it's a bit gimmicky, just kind of like the Silly Sponges. I mean, truly and honestly, I don't mind if it's gimmicky. I'm all for the Instagram stuff. You guys know me. I started on Instagram. I love doing gimmicky stuff. However, at $25, meh, you know, if it was like 10, I'd be like, all right, you know, not a huge deal. Kind of like the Silly Sponge. Did I like it? No, but it was $10, so try it out, you know, no big deal. Truly and honestly, I have never personally that says they like either the Silly Sponge or this continue to use it. You know, they're like, oh my god, it's the best new thing ever, and then in any tutorial after that, you never see them touch it ever again. It may be okay and it may work. It's not as easy and it's not as good as a beauty blender. I feel like a lot of people keep trying to reinvent the wheel in a sense for making all these new foundation, you know, blender type things, but I just don't think silicone is like the next big way. Also, cons I'd like to mention, there is so much hair stuck to this and I haven't done anything but sit here. And just again, this is my opinions, my review of using this. I am a customer, I purchased this, and now I am going to go film something else and I'm going to take off this makeup and redo it with a beauty blender. So if you've tried this and you love it, let me know. Tell me why you love it, how it works for you, what kind of foundation you put on, how much time you have in the morning, you know, all that kind of stuff. And if you want to see more videos from me, please subscribe. If you like this review, then, you know, like it. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!